And that's how you make a life for you and your family. So that's what my wife and I did. I did record, guys. That's what my wife and I did. And we were very successful. You know, I was a director of admissions at a couple of private universities, six-figure guy, mid-20s, and just living life. And about, I would say, 10 years ago or so, my wife and I had our life kind of changed upside down. On a Tuesday morning, I received my walking papers. I was laid off simply because I was too expensive. And so I don't know if any of you guys can ever or can relate to that, but for me, it was something that was pretty jarring. It was scary because I didn't expect it. And it was at that time that somebody introduced me to the network marketing industry. And I'll tell you, it's been an incredible journey, very much a roller coaster. We've had some extremely high moments in our career. We've also had some very, very tough moments in our career because this is a business just like any other business, but you know, it's a people business. It's a growth business. And so over the years, we've seen it all. I tell people I've seen it from the startups all the way to the companies that have been around 20, 30 years and everything in between, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we've learned from some incredible coaches. We've learned from some incredible mentors. And what I want to share with you guys tonight, guys, is something that I hope you're taking notes for. I want to teach you how to effectively close out a View Viseo event. Here on the West Coast, we call it a testing event. That's just another term for a home meeting, right? We don't say parties because that kind of gives that network marketing, multi-level marketing, feel, and we don't want to. We want to take away any anything that would limit somebody from wanting to come. And, you guys got to understand that there's a lot of psychology. There's a lot of things going on in someone's brain when you're recruiting them, when you're prospecting them to join your team or your company. And so we want to eliminate as many of those reasons or things that somebody would let get in their way or in their path to getting started. Okay. So let's have a very good conversation tonight about closing out a View Viseo event. And before we do that, guys, I want to challenge you a little bit. Is closing a bad word? Okay. And so I really want to help you guys to understand and challenge your own personal philosophy on the word closing, right? Closing at its core is really just, whether it's in a phone conversation, whether it's in a one-on-one conversation, whether it's on a Zoom, just like this, we close all day long, every day in our life, right? Whether it's between you and your wife and, one person wants to have one thing for dinner and you want to have another thing, somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to close. There is a close happening on every single conversation. The question is, guys, is that you just have to ask who's going to be the one winning, who's going to be the one that's getting closed. But I want to challenge you a little bit in regards to, closing and this term of closing in Viseo. Okay. So listen, guys, people come to Viseo for many reasons, right? So be it a personal testimony, maybe somebody gave you some of our cream and it just changed your life, right? There's so many people that have joined Viseo because of a testimony, right? Because somebody gave them some of our product and it literally changed their life. Some people come because they want to help others, right? Some people come in and they're just like, Mario, all I want to do is go out there and help the world, right? I believe in health and wellness and I want to just heal people from the inside out. Hearts and hands. People want to go out there and leave a long-term, impact on the world, and they see what we're doing in Tanzania and in Africa, and they really believe in going out there and helping as many people as possible. People come because they want to have financial freedom, and whatever that means for you. If financial freedom means for you that you just want to have enough money at the end of the week so that you can afford to go out and have a nice steak dinner and take your wife to a great dinner and a movie, then that's freedom, right? It's getting you from where you are now to a place where you can't be, and this is a vehicle to help you to get there. Or it's where you want to get to a place where you fire your boss, where you want to actually go out there and start to own and operate your own business from home. Some of you guys have a passion for health, okay? So there's a number of different reasons why people come to Viseo. But let me be brutally honest with you guys, if I may. In order to achieve your Viseo dream, here it is, guys. People have to make a decision. Ultimately, at the end of the day, whether you're here chasing a passion for wellness, whether you're here because you want to go out there and build financial freedom, if it's because you have a personal testimony and you want to help as many people have that same testimony, guys, at the end of the day, every one of our compensation, 8 different ways we get paid on a compensation plan, they all revolve around somebody making a decision. Okay, and so our job is to help them to make that decision. Here's some things that I want you to write down, and this is just the cold, hard facts of this profession. The longer it takes, the lower the chance of somebody starting. You see, you have to understand, and this is just something that is even outside of our profession, people buy based on emotion, okay? And so when the emotion wears off, the cares of the world start to come in. So you have somebody who shows up to a View Vaseo event and they leave, the likelihood of them getting started drops significantly every single day for the next 4 days. And the chances of you getting them to start on the 5th day or beyond is next to 0. I have to let you know that because that's a fact, right? It's something that you have to understand and you have to take very serious, right? When somebody is in the living room, that is the closest to starting they will ever be. So let me help you to understand, guys. We get on phone calls, connect calls, and we're hearing something from somebody, and they say some concepts that make sense, right? Then you might send them a couple of videos, right? And they say, okay, I like this. Okay, it's making sense right here. Okay, but again, when somebody's on a phone call, what type of effort does it take for you to actually get on a call? Swipe. Like, really, guys, to be quite honest with you, I could receive your connect call on the toilet. It doesn't take much effort from me. I don't have to give you much to get on a call. Okay. Now I do have to pick up. You send me some videos. Does that take much effort? But when you get somebody to then show up at a View Vaseo event or on the West Coast, a testing event, that is the closest they're going to be to getting started. Here's the reason why. Because they're in a room of people who are living proof. Hey, man, I tell you, man, I couldn't move my shoulder. I started putting the cream on, started taking Renew and these drops, and man, it's changed my life, man. They're standing next to somebody who's made X amount of money. Jacqueline Vasquez on our team, is making $2,000 a month in her first 7 months. It's paying her mortgage, and she's sitting there and they're talking to her, or Tanya Valentine, who's made close to $85,000 in her first 7.5 months. These are real people that they can touch and feel and listen to, and they're in a room with them, right? So you have got to know when somebody gets to that living room, that's the closest they're going to get to getting started in Vaseo. Your BPs are counting on you. Okay, now I couldn't get this one kind of messed up here, but your BPs are counting on you. How many of you know, okay, that getting somebody to show up to an event is difficult, right? So type of number 1, if you believe that for somebody that's new to the profession, to this industry, to the company, that it's difficult or at least not easy to get people to show up somewhere. Type of number 1 if you believe that. Right? Do you believe that somebody who's brand new, right, put some effort into getting somebody there, right? I believe that, and I actually take that very seriously, because if I'm brand new and I'm already nervous, I'm already, reluctant, my belief level is not up here, it's really still down here, and I figure out a way to get somebody to show up at a View Vaseo event, right? I'm now looking at the leaders and saying, come on, Mario, do what you do, brother. Help me out here, Tanya. Mark Wong, I need you here, Mark. Help me, because I did what I had to do to get my people into this room. And so your BPs are counting on you guys. So as a leader, gold and above, whenever anyone joins in that room, it helps you. So I want you to understand that, because sometimes people say, oh, I don't have a partner, so I'm not going to come. Or even if you're there and you don't have any guests from anybody on your team, and then you cut out early, or you don't pay attention, or you're not dialed in, right? Why? Because, I don't have anybody here today, so it's just, really doesn't mean anything to me. And that's just not true. And I'm going to share with you how that works in just a few, okay? So now let's redefine closing. Sometimes you have to look at things in a different perspective. Sometimes maybe you just have an internal philosophy and you've just always looked at closing as something that's a negative thing. So here's the deal, guys. Start talking about helping somebody start their journey to freedom. Hey man, let's sit down and let's start putting the first steps towards your journey to freedom, okay? The next steps to your Viseo business, right? Let's talk about the next steps to your Viseo business, right? Let's, set up their online store. Hey, let's talk about what it's going to take to get your online store set up, right? Let's sign your Declaration of Independence. I've heard people say that as well, right? See, but the bottom line is, guys, you've got to help them to make a decision. And before we're done, I'm going to help you guys to really understand how to guide somebody into that decision place, okay? Because I think that if you treat your business like a business, right? I talk to my team about this a lot. When I started making money in this industry, it's when I started treating this business like a business, right? I think if we looked at our business and we were all very, very honest with ourselves, we would see that we are losing and leaving a ton of food on the table at the end of these View Viseo or testing events. Because I think a lot of times, especially at the end of the events, I see people that are afraid to engage. They're afraid to sit down and have a real conversation with somebody, so they kind of just stand around. And everybody's just kind of enjoying the music, and they might grab some finger foods, but they're not really engaging. Because it requires you to actually sit down and have a real conversation with somebody. So they're always looking for somebody else to actually have this conversation. So with that being said, guys, here's what I want you to understand. These are just some facts. A yes or a no is better than a maybe. That's a huge deal, guys. When I realized that, I was like, awesome. See, because I'm a sorter. I know, guys, that sometimes what's happening is less about what I say or what I do, and it's more about what's happening with them, right? So, some of you guys know the story, but John Lewis asked me to take a look at Viseo 2 years ago, and I just wasn't in a place in my life where I cared. I wasn't open. I was making good money in other ventures and other places, and so I didn't give him a time of day. He didn't quit. He was just pop in from month to month and tell me this and tell me that. And it wasn't until my mom called me and asked me about CBD that my receptors, my ears were flipped up to CBD. And then all of a sudden, John just hit me and said, hey, brother, I want you to talk to Ricky. He's a good guy. And, I always love meeting new people, because to me as a networker, the most important thing you could have is somebody's phone number. So I was like, hey, yeah, of course. These guys are killing it. We get on the line and we start talking. Next thing I know, they put a bug in my ear. They didn't tell me that CBD was coming out, but they knew I was hot on track to look for a CBD company. And they said, listen, you're looking for CBD, you've got to talk to Dallin. And they said, because we're going to roll something out that I know you're going to love. And I sat there and I was like, really? Okay. So it was more about what was going on with me than what was going on with them, or what sophisticated approach they took. So I know that. So when I talk to people, hey, are you in or you're not? No problem. But I don't like people sitting on the fence, because that doesn't do them any good. It doesn't do me any good, right? So a yes or a no is better than a maybe, right? So understand some of these things. Now, I'm conditioning your mind right now, because it's your mind that's going to stop you from sitting down and engaging and having a real conversation with somebody at the end of a meeting. So we're trying to condition your thought processes to just shift your philosophy, shift the way you're looking at closing, because closing really is a state of mind and a state of heart. It's a posture, right? Because hit number 2, guys, if you believe in your heart of hearts that every person you know, love, and care about, and people that you don't even know need our products. Hit number 2 if you believe that our products are a necessary thing for somebody's life. Right? I believe that. Look at all these number 2s. So if you truly believe, guys, if you truly believed that our products need to be in and on everybody you know and love, and even people you don't, why can't you have posture to sit down and say to somebody, listen, we have got to go out there and change the world, and this is the way to do it, and I'm going to show you how to do it, right? That's a posture. That's a thought process. That's a heart space, okay? So that said, let's keep on moving. So setting up the close. Okay. So the meeting before the meeting is very important, guys. Okay. So number one, leaders should arrive 25 minutes early. Okay. So I don't know what it is. Every single training, we get somebody who writes on the screen. Leaders arrive 25 minutes early. Now, guys, the meeting before the meeting is so important because you have to understand that we are there with a purpose. So red badges go out to all of the guests, right? And it says red, hi, my name is Mario, right? So anybody who's new is easily identified. Blue badges go out to people who are brand partners. So brand partners need to focus on guests. This is not a time to stand around with other brand partners and talk. One of my first mentors, he was a massive producer. And he was very, very straightforward. He was very transparent. He said, guys, I don't come to meetings to make friends. You guys are all my friends. I love you, but I'm not here for you, brand partners. I'm here for the new people. And so he would literally walk in and people would be like, oh, hey, so, hi. And he'd be like, hi. And he'd walk right past him and say, hey, how are you, Joe? Great to meet you. He'd sit down with Joe, and he was just all dialed into brand partners. So as a leader, if you're hosting a meeting, you need to be intentional about having these conversations with your leaders first. In fact, I'll tell you, this is something that I practice often. Last night, I won't say their names, but there was a couple of people that were my leaders hanging out by the sign-in table. I walked over to them and I said, hey guys, we've got a bunch of red tags over there by themselves. And they both said, oh, okay, we'll be back. And they went over there. It didn't matter that they were not in their direct downline or not. But as a leader, I'm looking around. The last thing I want is a red tag sitting there just kind of like doing this, right? Because why? Our job is to help them to move forward for our brand partners. So we teach what's called form, right? So go out there and ask them about their family. Hey, Joe, how's it going? Awesome. So tell me a little bit about yourself. You're married, you have kids. My name is Mar. I have 5 children, and my wife is named Stephanie. And my oldest plays this and that. And so you're forming them up. So I tell my people, family, occupation, recreation, motivation. Okay. This is very important because here's what typically people do if they don't have a real specific agenda of what they want to accomplish in this conversation. Hey, Joe, how are you? Nice to meet you. Awesome. Cool. So where do you live? Oh, awesome. Awesome. Cool. So what do you know about what we've got going on today? Oh, it has to do with CBD. Right on. CBD is awesome. Cool. All right. Well, hey, good to meet you. You're not digging into them. You're not really being able to make a connection there. Why is it important that as a leader, you are teaching your leaders to go make connections? Because people are walking up with walls. They're walking up guarded. Right? And so this is very important, guys. We actually have in our marketplace, in our area, we have leadership meetings for Gold and Above, and we teach this. There's specific training just on how we end a meeting, but it starts at the beginning of the meeting, okay? Here's another thing I've seen, and this is the killer, guys. Do not have clipboards and apps out for people to see before you go into the information. Because what happens is, if somebody walks in, I remember we had a meeting one time, and these folks had all of the products out, and then they had like those little decorative chalkboards, and on that decorative chalkboard, they wrote in CBD1, 129, CBD1 cream, 160, renew, and they had the retail prices of all the products. See, what happens when somebody comes in and they see price, that now glazes over everything they see for the rest of the time. Give your people the ability to build value for our products before you ever unveil the price. So again, make sure there's no clipboards out. So what we do is we put our clipboards on, okay, and this is another thing we'll talk about. We have clipboards, we have applications, we have a white sheet of paper, and we also have a printed out document for the next upcoming event. Now, there's also pins on each one of them, okay? So what we do is we make sure there's a pin, there's a sign-up sheet for convention, there's a white piece of paper, and there's also on top of that an application. All of those are in our bag tucked away for later, okay? Crank up the music, have energy, smile big, and make people feel welcome. Now, I know that there's a lot of people that would say, man, Mario, in our marketplace, we're a little slower, we're a little older, the music's kind of loud, it's kind of this and that. Guys, remember, we're building this for the masses. And people, I don't care, you don't have to be old to, or young to like music, right? I know plenty of older folks that come in and they love the environment. They love being excited. They love being around upbeat, energetic, fun people. So create and cultivate and protect that environment from the very, very beginning, okay? So with that being said, now during the meeting, this is very important. Sit with guests even if you don't have any. Why is it important to red and blue? Because you want to be able to see who's sitting where. You have to be able to say, oh, cool. What you want to do is you want to be able to identify where the guests are and sit next to them. Now, I'm going to say something right now that might freak you out a little bit. Don't give up your seat for guests. Do not give up your seat for guests. Whether you're in a living room or in a big meeting like the Salem Center out in Florida, or our West Covina office. That's a huge mistake. Here's the reason why. You, to be an effective closer, need to be right next to them when this event is over. Here's what I've seen in a living room. Now, you might, if you've seen this, right, let me know in the chat if you've seen this. People that are trying to be courteous for guests and say, oh, no, go ahead and sit there. And you got 6 guests lined up in a row on one couch. When the meeting's over, they all just sit there. And so as a leader, when I come around, I can't engage with anybody because there's like a big row of people that are all like this and they don't move. So what if one of those 6 is already like, the whole meeting is like this, stupid scam, right? He's going to pollute the rest of those 6 people that are sitting there. I want him out. I want him away from these other guests, right? Because also people are sheep, right? What, Mario, you're saying people are sheep? Yes, they are. Have you guys ever seen that? Have you guys ever seen that video where a person goes into like a doctor's office and there's 8 people in that lobby, but he's the only one that's not in on it? And then there's like a bing and everybody in the office stands up and the person who's in there is like, and then that person stands up and then they all sit down. And then 5 minutes later it goes bing, they all stand up again. And that person's like, people are sheep. They will follow. The person that's not in on the gag does everything that they do simply because they don't want to be left out. So guess what? When you line up 6 guests on a couch, even if somebody wants to join, I'm not going to join if nobody else is joining, right? And if, hey, how many of you guys like this? In my mind, I'm like, I love it, but I'm not going to be the first one to say it. That's how people are. So do me a huge favor, do yourself a huge favor, do your team partners a huge favor. Don't give up your seats for guests. Even if you have a guest now, if it's a lady, try to strategically place it. But even if you have a couple guests sitting in the kitchen on some stools, then you park yourself right next to them on a stool, right? It's okay to have a guest in the kitchen next to another brand partner. Right? So what I tell folks is go strategically place yourself throughout the meeting so that you can be in a position to really have an active and a real conversation afterwards. And I'm going to share with you how that looks in just a few. So put your phones away, guys. I'm telling you right now, if you're wearing a CBD hat or whatever and you're sitting there playing on your phone, what you're doing is you're not showing your guests or guests in the room that this is important information. If people see you and they're like, man, these guys are all dialed in, man. They're paying attention, like this guy's teaching us how to make millions of dollars, which we are. Be dialed in, right? Don't stand in the back. Be engaged. Laugh at the cheesy jokes, right? Raise your hand. The worst thing you can do as a presenter is say, hey, how many of you guys such and such, and nobody raises their hand? And the problem is half the room is business partners. See, brand partners have to be engaged. Oh man. Now don't be fake, right? I remember I had a guy one time and I would tell him, listen, when we tell cheesy jokes, you got to laugh at him, right? And he would go, ha 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 ha. And I wanted to go like, dude, stop. You're being a weirdo. Like he's like, oh, well, you said you'd laugh at the jokes. I go, but yeah, genuinely laugh. Don't make yourself look weird. Don't make yourself look awkward, but be engaged. Laugh at the jokes. Raise your hand. Take notes. Right? I always say sit forward, right? If somebody's a brand partner and they're sitting there leaned back, slouching down, playing on their phone, right? Falling asleep, right? Do you think that the guests think that this is awesome information? Or if you're leaning forward and you're taking notes and you're dialed in, what do they think? Man, this guy's already in and he's like grabbing, he's like living on every word that comes off of this guy's mouth. Man, this must be pretty big, right? So during the meeting, what you do and how you act as brand partners is extremely, extremely important, okay? Now, let's talk about the speaker because the speaker is going to set up the room. Now, I was asked to do this training, guys, because when Dallin Larson came out to our regional event a couple months ago, about a month ago, he had a Thursday night event, and we closed the room. And then also we had an event on Saturday, and we closed the room. And I'll tell you, I'm sharing this just as somebody that, like, man, thought this was the coolest thing ever. He said, Mario, in my 30 years in network marketing, I've never seen a meeting after the meeting like you guys have done. You guys closed the room like I've never seen before, right? And so Ricky, obviously he told Ricky that, and Ricky said, Mario, I need you to teach this to the team. Okay, so I'm sharing this with you because if the man, the myth, the legend shares that with me, I'm freaked out, right? But we're on to something is what I'm getting at, okay? So the speaker sets up the room, right? So a couple things. Hey, so guys, so what's next when we're done? You got to help people to understand. Listen, guys, step one, we're going to help you to pick a package, okay? It's real simple. There's a number of different packages. Step two, we're going to put you through a 24-hour Ucrew team training, right? It's where we're going to teach you from products to how to talk to your friends and family, social media, personal development, mindset training. And number three, we're going to help you to approach your network and get you 3 brand partners in 48 hours. Very simple. Step one, pick a pack. Step two, we're going to get you trained. And step three, we're going to help you get 3 people within your first 48 hours, okay? Now, people are usually in 3 places, guys. This is what I tell the room. Place number one, hey, it's not for me. And that's no harm, no foul. If it's not for you, okay, totally just let us know if you're in a place number one. And I usually say, hey, I've learned really early that, you know what, I'd rather run with 3 people than try to drag 10, right? And what that does is it's starting to kind of ease the room. Because people that are even excited, people that really want to join, they're still kind of on edge because nobody likes to be sold, right? Think about it. How many times have you gone to the store with the sole intention of buying something? Like you're like, hey, babe, I got to be back. I need to go get a new pair of jeans. So you go to the mall, and I'm walking in. I first went to this store, didn't find them. Went to this store. You're actively looking for a pair of jeans, but somebody comes up to you and says, hey, can I help you with anything? You're like, no, I'm just looking. Right? Nobody likes to get sold. So by saying, hey, listen, if it's not for you, no harm, no foul. I'd rather run with 3 people than try to drag 10. So if it's not for you, no harm, no foul, perhaps you want to be a customer, okay? Place number 2, okay, is this. I like it, but I still have some questions. So as we close, guys, the person who may come up to you that is one of our team members, let them know if you're in a place number 2. They're going to show you exactly how to make your money back within 3 steps. It's real simple, 3-step process. Tell them, hey, Mario, I'm in a number 2. I'm not ready to join yet, but I really do like it, and I have some questions. Or place number 3, I'm ready to get my online store set up, and I'm ready to start working towards my dreams, okay? So 3 places. Number 1, it's not for me. Place number 2, I like it, but I have some questions. Or number 3, I'm ready to go, okay? So with that being said, guys, now, since there's a lot of people in the room, once we're done, please let us know if you're in place number 1, 2, or 3. It will help us get through everybody a lot faster. So I'm setting the room. Now, keep in mind, this is what I share. This is my verbatim, okay? So once we're done, if you want to take a screenshot of the picture of the screen, this is what I say. Hey, but before we're finished, I want to give you my personal recommendation, okay? So here's the deal. Guys, it does not matter to me where you get started. Whether it's the $249 pack, the $1,500 pack, what matters to me is that you get started. Why? Because, guys, we're going viral. You will hear about Viseo again, and you want to make sure that you're in the company when your friends and family come to you, because I'm telling you, it's already happening. So what I'm doing right there is, once again, telling them, guys, listen, I just want you to get started, okay? That's the most important thing. Right? But it's also kind of, again, bringing down the wall again. Like, listen, oh, cool, so I can get started at any place. What's most important is that I get started, okay? Now, but here's my advice. Come in with the $1,549 package if you want to position yourself to win big with the company, okay? Why? Now we explain the benefits of the foundation pack. Now, this is me at the front still, okay, as a presenter, okay? Now, you share the 2% revenue share option. Hey, guys, this is limited time. This can be worth, $30,000 a month. Should this company turn into a $1 billion company, and Dallin's already taken 2. We talk about wanting to have all the products. You want to have a well-balanced business, okay? You also want to have bulk for sampling, okay, which is very, very important. You also want to set the bar high. I tell people very openly, how could you ever okay? Ask somebody to do something that you haven't done, right? Let's say you decide to get started with the 249 package, and then you bring in a buddy and he's all set to build a foundation pack, and he's signing up and he says, so this is the pack that you've done, right? Wait, what? Wait a minute, you want me to do the $1,500 package and you did 249? Right? So by going out there and doing it first yourself, you set the standard, and then everybody comes in with that. The volume of sales is high, and everybody makes the most amount of money, right? And so with that being said, here's the important part. It's still not the time to pass out the clipboards, because when I'm doing my close in the room and you start passing out clipboards, here's what people do. Instead of listening to me with these very important parts, they start doing this. And I'll see the whole room's head go down. And so when I'm setting the room, everybody's doing this. Okay? Done. You've lost them. Do not pass out the clipboards until you are instructed to do so. So with that being said, guys, here's what we also say. Now, if you are a guest or you're with a guest, raise your hand. We want to put a clipboard in it. See, because here's what I know. I even make a joke sometimes. If you are a guest or you're with a guest, because sometimes they won't raise their hand, raise your hand, guys. We just want to get a clipboard in your hands. We want you to see the different options that you have. Pass out the clipboards, okay? Now, let me know if you are a 1, 2, or 3, okay? I'm going to put on some music so it's not super awkward. Have a great night, guys. God bless. Now the clipboards are going out. Music is up, okay? So let's talk about that real quick. Now the work begins, okay? So the success is in the details, guys. The success is in the details. This is a skill that I'm going to teach you. We recorded this. I would strongly recommend you watch this over and over and over again so that you know exactly how to do this right, and then you could teach it to people. Because guess what, guys? The reason we've had so much success is because at the end of the meeting, all of the leaders in the room know exactly what they're to do. The worst thing you can do is at the end of the meeting have music go on and kind of people are just kind of standing around and they're just looking at each other. My leaders know exactly what they are to do, but because they're positioned right, guess what happens? If I'm sitting where I'm supposed to, I turn with the person that I've already been forming and I go like this. I'm already where I need to be, right? I'm already where I need to be. And that's not by accident. So the success is in the details. Music stays up. Do you know how many times I'm at the end of a meeting and somebody says, hey, Mario, would you mind turning the music down? And I say, no, don't. I won't. Here's the reason why. Because I don't want my conversation that I'm having, which could be a tough conversation, to be heard by somebody else. Okay? I don't want that to happen. Because here's the deal. Let's say I'm having a conversation with this guy and I'm like, hey, listen, man, you know, what do you think about that? And we're going through the details. Like, oh, this is a scam. My brother did this and he lost $50,000 and there's another person sitting literally in earshot and she's like this, listening. And she was ready to get started until she heard Joe Dirtmouth start running his mouth. And somebody in the back's like, it's too loud. Here's the deal, guys. If it's too loud, take them out of the room. Guys, that's a good thing. Here's what I would do. Oh, it's a little loud. No worries. Let's go over here. I'll chat with you. If any of you guys have ever done a meeting with me, you'll see me. I'll ask them, come on over here. And I actually walk them into the kitchen because I want them alone. I want to be able to sit down and have a real conversation with them. So if the music is up, it's for a reason. Okay, so there's a very specific reason. You don't want people having or hearing conversations that are going on the side. Okay, now if you're sitting properly, you're in a good position to close. Now let's make sure that you have a blank sheet of paper and a pen on the clipboard. Last thing you want to do is do this. Cool. So you're digging in. Do you mind if I show you how this works? And sure. And then you turn around. You're like, oh man. And then I'm like, Jackie, do you have a pen? Hold on one second. And you're looking for a pin, right? Make sure there's a pin on the clipboard. There's the app followed by a white sheet of paper followed by an application for the actual convention, okay? Now, if there are newer BPs with guests and you're a leader, you're a gold or above, and you have no guests, go help them. Do you know how many times I've had people that are sitting there and they're brand new and they have a brand new guest and they don't know what to say, but there's other leaders just standing around? I don't care if they're on your team or not, because here's the reason. I'm going to share with you, right? The success in the room of everybody joining, whether they're from you or not, helps it all. A rising tide floats all boats. So here's the deal. Here's the other thing, guys. This will help the whole room. No group closes. Wait your turn. Do you know how many times I'm actively helping somebody to get started, and then somebody brings their guest and they're just 2 extra people standing there staring? Don't do that. Do not do that, because people are private. If I'm asking somebody, and I'm going to show you right now, that's why I have this here. If I'm walking somebody through this system, I don't have a problem saying, okay, do you think you could do this? Yes, I could do this. So you ready to get started? No, I'm not. I will say to them, so is it a money thing? Well, yeah, it kind of is. Perfect. No problem. Let me show you some of the other, and I go down. I'll show them 249 or the other ones. But if some random person comes and starts standing here, this person is going to close up. So now not only did you ruin your close, you ruined somebody else's close. No group closes. Just wait your turn. If you're a new person, or if you need somebody to be closed, walk over and say, hey, that's Mario. He's helping that gal. Let's just hang tight for a few minutes, okay? And step back and just wait. Wait for your turn, because you're going to kill the close that the person that's in. And also what you're going to do is you're going to kill your close. Because here's the thing, when I say if I go through it and 3 people are watching, nobody moves, because there comes that sheep mentality again. So you ready to get started? Well, I still have some questions because they're looking around at everybody else. So guys, I'm sorry if I get passionate about this, because these are just the things that I see happen, and we kill ourselves. It's like shooting ourselves in the foot, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share with you a 3-step close that you do, and then I'm going to actually draw it out for you. So here's what I say. So, hey, what did you like most? Worst question you could ever ask, guys, is this. So what did you think? That's what I hear all the time. And you know the number one response when you say, hey, what did you think? It's interesting. Oh, geez, Louise. You killed yourself. So what did you think? Oh, it's interesting. Oh, it's pretty cool, right? Go in there, and what I'll do is I'm sitting down, meeting's over. Hey, guys, thank you so much. God bless. Music goes up. I do this. So what did you like most? We're going right at it. Why am I asking them that question? Because it's a direct question that requires a direct answer, right? I didn't say, what did you think? I said, out of everything you heard, what did you like most? So they might say, hey, man, I like CBD. Man, that liposomal technology is awesome. That compensation plan's sick. I love that you took so many people to the Bahamas. Here's the deal, okay? Now, type of number 3, if you pretty much love everything about this company. Is there anything that you don't like about this company? I love everything. I love the comp plan. I love the leaders. I love liposomal technology. I love our products. I love our system. I even love the colors, black and gold. I love it, right? I love everything about this company. So when I say, what do you like most? It doesn't matter what they say. Here's my answer, guys. Me too. Hey, I like residual income. Me too. Hey, I like CBD. Me too, right? Are you ready to get started? Ooh, some of you guys are like, damn. Do you know how many people will get started right then and there? Do you know how many people? I'm like, man, so what do you like most? I love residual income. Me too, brother. So you ready to get started? And they're like, yeah, awesome. Let's get that app. Bam. You saved yourself all kinds of trouble instead of this. So what do you think? And just don't be afraid to ask the question. If they say no, I'm not too sure yet. I still have some questions. Awesome. No problem. Are those questions about being a customer or about being a brand partner, business partner, right? Here's the deal. You've got to sort, right? I'm not going to lie to you guys. I take my meetings extremely serious because I know how hard it is for you guys to get somebody in that room. So here's the deal. If I'm sitting with somebody and I say, hey, what did you like most? I like residual income, or I love CBD. Me too. You ready to get started? No, I'm not sure yet. Cool. Is that question about being a customer or a brand partner? No, I just want to be a customer. Awesome. Great to meet you, brother. Can you help him with your back office? And I'm gone. Why? Because I am on a mission in that room for you. I'm there not to make friends. You can help your customer if he wants customer questions. I'm there to help you win. So I'm going to say, hey, man, great, no problem. Jackie is more than, capable of helping you with all the different customer questions that you might have. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming by. God bless. And I walk to the next person. Hey, brother, how are you? What did you like most about what you saw? And I'm going in there. I'm digging in because I treat this like a business, okay? Now, again, some of you guys might be, oh, my gosh, this is so hard. This is like sales, and I just want to rub cream on people. That's fine. But to achieve black diamond, white diamond, all the different ranks, and to go travel the world and to bless thousands of people, you've got to learn how to build a system. This is a business at its core. And when we start treating it like a business, guess what's going to happen? We're going to have millions of dollars in sales volume. And what that means, let me break this to you guys. When you have millions of dollars of sales volume, you know what that means? That there's tons and tons and tons of product being rubbed all over people. So I promise you, by default, you're going to have an insane amount of testimonies just by treating this the right way, okay? So with that being said, they say, hey, is this about being a customer or a business partner? Both, I guess. Okay, cool. Well, do you mind if I show you how simple this is? Okay, grab the clipboard. Flip over the first page to the white paper, and here's what we do, okay? It's real simple. So I say, listen, so we have a really simple duplicatable system, okay? And so this is what we do. We get people started with the 1549 package, okay? So the 1549 pack, remember, that's going to get you that 2%, okay, revenue share option. I'll come back to that in just a second. So what we do, here is you, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to reach out to about 30 people. Now we do text or calls, depending on whatever you feel more comfortable with. And so it's simply like, hey, brother, what do you think about CBD? Or hey, brother, what are your thoughts on CBD, right? You could do that, right? See my head? The beauty's in the success is in the details. You could do that, right? Yeah, I could do that. Awesome. Now, because CBD is so popular and so sexy, we're going to get at least 15 people that want to get a call. They're going to say, yeah, I'd like to learn more about that. Awesome. So you're going to get those 15 people on the phone with me or Ricky or Francoise or some of the other leaders, because guess what? We do all the heavy lifting for you, okay? So you think you could send out 30 texts and arrange 15 text messages? See my head? Or 15 calls? Yeah, I could do that. Awesome. So because we've been doing this so long, if you do 15 calls, you're going to get 3 people to join your business. And this is the way it looks. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, you think we could do something like that together? What are you doing the entire time they're going, yeah, I could do that. Perfect. When you get 3 people to join, you made $600. We usually do that within about 24 to 48 hours. Now, when these 3 people get started, what are we going to do with them? Joe, we're going to do the same thing. Hey, we're going to give them 30 texts or calls, 15 connect calls, and then you're going to get 3 business partners for them. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now, Joe, if I help you get 3 who get 3, you're going to make about another $450 in the binary plan. And then on our matching bonuses, you're going to make about another $200. Okay. So altogether, you're already back to the good, about $1,300. How awesome is that? Yeah. So you ready to get started? Oh man, yeah, I could do that. Awesome. So here's what the deal is. Then you already have the app. You flip it down. How do you spell your last name? See, because what you're doing is this. You're giving them a specific track to be successful. I also say, if they say, well, I'm not too sure yet. Well, let me show you one other thing. See, remember how everybody was talking about that they're going to the Bahamas? Well, this is what we do. When you get 3 who get 3, you're pretty much a stone's throw away from gold. You remember gold? What happens at gold? You win the trip, right? Yeah, you're going to go on the trip. Okay, check. You pretty much made all your money back, right? Check. You're making the 3% rev share when you hit gold. Awesome. And now you're getting that 2% as well. And so all we do is 3 who get 3 who get 3. How incredible is that? Yeah, I could do that. All right, so you ready to get started? How do you spell your last name? Here's another thing, guys. Don't ever give them the app and let them take it. Right? It's kind of like this. When you guys buy a car or you buy a house or any type of a formal paperwork, what do they always do? They give you a stack and they highlight. And they say, okay, you're going to go that. Okay, click. They go, what about that one? Okay, okay. And they always hold the paper with them. Now, here's what you're going to do. When you put your head down and you say, hey, so how do you spell your last name? You're going to keep your head down. Johnson. Okay, awesome. First name? Mary. Okay, cool. Now there's a couple of places they'll stop you. Okay, and this is how you're gauging if they're serious or not. Where do you think the first place they're going to stop you if they're not serious? Social security number. Okay, so what's your social? And in your mind, you're like, come on, baby, come on, baby, come on. Oh, it's 5'7", perfect. You start writing it out. Okay, where's the next place they're going to stop you? Credit card information. So what I do, and this is what I was taught, you keep your head down. First person to look up or break that awkwardness loses. So you say, okay, so you're going to use a Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express. Head down, head down, head down, head down. It's a Visa. Awesome. Write it down. Okay, go ahead and let me know those card numbers when you get them. Sometimes they don't have it, right? Sometimes they got to go to their purse. Sometimes they got to go to their wallet. I still have my head down, head down, head down. And here's what I see. I see a little credit card come sliding through. And in my mind, first time I ever did this, guys, I promise you, first time I ever did this, I had self-talk in my head. I'm like, oh my God, it works. Oh, this is crazy. Wrote it down, done deal. And then here's the deal. Everybody in the room is having the exact same conversations, okay? People all over the place are having the same conversations with people because you're giving people the steps. People are visual. They want to see it because until you walk up to them and draw something else like this, they're like, well, it's interesting because they're like, I know what it is. I know we sell CBD. I know you have another bunch of products. I know we're early. I know people are making money, but I don't know how it is. How do we do this? This is the how. Hey, can you send out some text or calls? Yeah, we're going to get you 3 people, okay? We're going to help those 3 people get another 3 people, and you're pretty much a gold. Wow, that's awesome. And guess what's going to happen? It's not going to be 3 who get 3 because 3 who get 3, somebody's going to come in on the bottom, and guess what? His name is Jeff Gonzalez. And I'll point. See that guy over there? His name is Jeff. Jeff's never been in network marketing before. He put in, what did he put in? Oh, he put in 200 people in his first 6 weeks. And they're like, what? Now, guess what? When the person who enrolled this person to this person, none of them knew Jeff, but Jeff showed up. Boom. And when Jeff shows up and puts 200, whoo, they're like, all right, I can do this. Awesome. Now, here's another trick to the trade that I've taught, and this is a little bit more advanced, but here's the deal. You want to be able to get some type of something out of them. So let's say you go through and you're like, hey, so how do you spell your last name? And they're like, you know what, Mario, I'm not ready for it. No worries. Here's why. Shift gears really fast. Listen, Joe invited you out, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, Joe's got some big goals, okay? He wants to retire his wife. He's working hard. And I'm going to tell you right now, in the last couple of days, we've already put a ton of people in front of the business. So I would say with confidence that in the next 3 to 4 days, Joe's probably going to bring in a ton of people. So let me show you what that means for you, okay? So now I go back and I'm going to erase it here, but on a piece of paper, I'll still have more room. Okay, I do this. Listen, Joe is going to do the same thing. Here's Joe. He's going to bring in 2 people. You want to be at the top of Joe's organization because as Joe starts bringing in more people, they're going to be here and here and here and here. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to fill out this application in its entirety. That's not saying that you're starting. What it's saying is that, Mario, if I decide to do this, I want that top spot. Don't give it away. So this is what we'll do, okay? I'm going to actually fill out this app for you. You can give it to Joe, okay? I'm not going to take it. Nobody's going to process anything, but we'll fill it out. You're basically saying, hey, let me sleep on it. We'll look at some more information, maybe touch base tomorrow. And if you're ready, you're going to be able to take number 1. And if other people come in, we won't give that spot away. Are you ready to do that? So a lot of people will say, you know what? Yeah, I'll do that. Awesome. So I even go as far as saying, listen, I'm going to draw number 1 right here at the top. So that way we know we're holding that spot for number 1. And then I say, okay, now guess what? Real quick, what's your name? It's Michael. Awesome. Real quick. I stand up and I say, everybody help me welcome Michael to the team. And everybody in the room goes, hey! Everybody starts clapping because the music is loud. What's happening is somebody else is engaging in the same conversation and they turn and they're like, woo! And they go, I told you, man, it's going crazy. So then this person gets started. That person stands up and says, hey, everybody help me welcome Mary to the team. Woo! What happens, guys? Check this out. FOMO is real. And I'm looking, by the time you get 3 or 4 joining, I mean, every 2 seconds, people are like, help me welcome so-and-so to the team. Woo! I even do it if somebody's just holding the place. As I say, man, I know you're going to do this. I'm going to welcome you anyways. The reason I want to do that is because I want to set that that motion off in the room. So I'm going to, even if somebody's reserving a spot and they're saying, hey, I just want to take number one and we'll talk again tomorrow, I still tell them, hey, brother, I know you're going to do this, but I'm going to welcome you to the team just unofficially, okay? Everybody welcome Joe to the team. And then what happens is fear of missing out takes over. You might be having something like, I don't know, and boom, welcome so-and-so to the team. Welcome so-and-so to the team. Welcome so-and-so. And they look at their spouse and they're like, damn it, forget it. We're doing it. Let's go. And then bam, 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 bam. It's like popcorn. It starts going crazy. Fear of missing out really does work. Celebrate. Welcome so-and-so to the team. Everybody gets off the fence. People start to get fired up. But guess what, guys? At the end of a meeting, you actually start to get people who want to join, okay? So it's absolute fire. It works perfectly. We've been doing it for years, and it's recorded now for you guys, okay? So I'm going to be extremely honest with you. When Ricky asked me to do this training, just a little bit, I was like, you want me to give away my secret sauce? But you know what? We're all part of the Ucrew Nation. This has been a very, very specific secret to my success over the last few years in networking, because we train on this, we coach on this, and it works, guys. Because what your goal is, for whatever reason, whether you're here to heal the world, whether you're here to build financial freedom, whether you're here just because of a personal testimony, that compensation plan works because of Rita. Recruiting is the answer. Okay, there's only one person that I know in human history that built a global dynasty with 12 people. His name was Jesus Christ. And he even had somebody quit. So he really did it. He frontlined 11, and then he went out and dominated the world, has the biggest downline ever. I will promise you this, if you want to make it to the top ranks, you're going to have to create a duplicatable system where people are out there going boom, boom, boom. And what happens is, here's why I want you guys to see the vision. Some of you guys build a business that is revolved around you right now. If you're not there, the business dies. I want to build a business where every single night on Monday, there's a meeting in LA, there's a meeting in Louisiana, there's a meeting in New York, there's a meeting in Wisconsin, there's a meeting in Florida, and I'm not there. On Tuesday, there's 20 meetings. On Thursday, there's another 15 meetings. And it's a duplicatable turnkey system that doesn't require you to have extensive training. All you have to do is watch this video over and over again and literally read the script. Hey, what do you like most about what you saw? Oh, I love residual. Me too. You ready to get started? No. Cool. Can I share it with you how simple this is? Yeah. Awesome. Boom. You go through it. Bam, 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 bam. Start teaching that out. Take this and treat it like a professional, and you will get paid like a professional. Because let me tell you one thing in closing, guys. Money is not everything. Okay? Money is not everything. But it ranks right up there with oxygen. It is the ultimate decider on whether or not you have freedom or not, okay? So you've got to be able to build a business. You've got to be able to go out there and not only personally enroll as many people as possible, but you've got to teach your people how to enroll as many people as possible. Because what happens, guys, is I want you to write this down. If you have a vision board, write this down. I want you to build a business that is not revolved around startup money. You want to build a business that is revolved around LCP money, long-term residual income. Right now, most of us are building a startup money business. That means when somebody joins, a bonus is released. Somebody joins, a bonus is released. You want to build a business that whether or not somebody joins or not, people are purchasing product every single week, pretty much every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year, and you don't have to do anything because of that LCP money. When you have a significant income based on LCP money, guess what? Right? That startup money is there, but it doesn't even matter because you built a solid machine. So I love you guys. Hope you have a great night. Hope you had some nuggets from this. It will be recorded. It will be posted. Otherwise, God bless. And go make it happen, guys. Go fight for your freedom. See you later.
Thanks, Mario.